What's going on? Back again here. A little tired. Long day yesterday up at Comicon Toronto. Had a really good time. Went up with my brother. Saw a bunch of people I know. A bunch of people I haven't seen in a while. So it was good. But had a pretty awesome haul. Got a bunch of books signed. Got a bunch of books off the list, and got a couple ones that aren't on the list that I've just been after. So I'm gonna show a bit of everything today, and we'll see what we got here. So I'm gonna start off with the stuff I got signed, and alright, we'll go from there. So first things first, I brought my good copy of the Wizard magazine with the list, and there were two artists there who had books that were on the list. Mark Teixeira, who had one, and Mike Zeck, who I believe has 7 or 8. So they actually were both kind enough to sign this. I'm not going to bust it out because I'm going to show you other signatures of theirs anyway. But pretty cool. An extra little touch, I think. Mike Zeck signed the splash page with the 100 greatest covers, and Mark Teixeira signed his actual cover in there. So set that aside, and then we'll get into it here. So this isn't on the list, but I found these 2 copies at the Warehouse of Love. G.I. Joe 63, great Snake Eyes cover, done by Mike Zeck. There's his signatures there, 1 and 1. One of these is going off to a buddy of mine who's a Mike Zeck fan as well. And yeah, pretty sweet. I met Mike Zeck. He was a nice guy, man. I've heard things about him that he wasn't the nicest guy. This is his first time up in Canada in 10 odd years. I was chatting him up a little bit there, and he was saying that through the 80s, I guess, he used to be here a ton. So those are the first 2, not on the list, but sweet covers that lend themselves well to signatures. So dive into the few here that are from the list that I got signed. They're all books everyone has seen before, but Kraven's Last Hunt, pretty sweet. There's the signature there in silver, Michael Zeck. That's the first one I got. Pretty nice cover, pretty cool to have a signature on it. Next one, Secret Wars, number 10, the Doom cover. There's a signature. So pretty cool. One thing about signatures, as I've said before, is there's a lot of schools of thought on whether they increase the value or decrease the value. I'm of the opinion that if I get the signature myself, that it increases the value. There's a really awesome one right there. Punisher number 3. Very popular cover. There's a signature there, Mike Zeck. So another one, Captain America. Captain America 321. That one looks nice with the silver on the black. But as I was saying, I think a book like this, where it's not worth that much, the value is increased by a signature. I saw a copy of Iron Man 128, The Demon in a Bottle. It's got Iron Man on the cover, in the mirror with the bottle. He's all strung out and drunk. And it was signed by Bob Layton, which you might think, oh, cool, but I didn't get the signature myself. I'm not saying I didn't believe it was real, but I don't value it. I wouldn't want to add it to my collection of greatest covers. Just for that reason. I don't know, that might just be me. People might hear this and think, oh, you're crazy, but there's a couple things you gotta take into consideration. Am I paying more because it's signed? Because if that's the case, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of opinion. It's a matter of opinion. But that's the last one from Mike Zeck. And again, he did sign the magazine, which was really awesome of him. Here's the Mark Teixeira. You see he did the little skull sketch, which was really cool. He was doing some sketches for some other people as well, charging kind of $10 a piece, but You know, cool cover. One thing he mentioned about this cover was that he knew they were going to do the glow in the dark, so he said he was trying to make as much of the area glow in the dark as possible. So you see how this all sort of comes around wide like that. That was on purpose, to get as much glow in the dark space as he could fit onto the cover while still making it good. And I mean, man, bang on. Look at that. That's pretty sick. So nice one. This is just my divider, so I don't dive into the ones off the list yet, but that's my reader copy. So I'm gonna hop in now to the, so those are the ones that I got signed anyway. And actually what I think I'll do, I'll change up the pace here, and I'm gonna show, I got 3 books that aren't on the list, but they're ones I've been after. Ironically, all Batman. 2 of them I got for really, really good deals. The first one is Year 1, Part 2. I've got Year 1, Part 1, it's on the list, but I've been trying to get the other 3 just to complete it so I can read it all and have the original first prints. I got it for $5. While I'm here, I'll show you the other one. Part 3, got it for $5 as well. At my local store, there's a couple copies of this up for $20. These are at least $10 comics. Got them for $5. He had, same guy didn't have Part 4, but he had Part 1. He had Part 1 for $5 as well. That's easily a $20 comic. And the condition was all there for these, so I bought these 2 and then let him know that he should have $20 on his Part 1 and not $5, so he appreciated that. He wasn't a comic dealer, he was dealing signatures. He had different, you know, Mike Tyson and some of these athletes and things like that, and he had just a small box of comics. I thought, oh, I'll pick through it. So I feel like I got a really good deal on these 2, and you know, felt okay about helping him out since I got a deal. And the other one I got, that modern book, not really a big deal, but it completes my run of the New 52 Batman, issue 8. I haven't been able to get issue 8 in first print. I don't know what the deal is. It's just been tough. So I found it for $5 too. So I don't mind spending $5 on a comic if it's something I need. And I mean, comics, it's crazy right now. There's really a lot of new comics that are really expensive. Batman New 52 issues are all expensive. Good example. The new Hawkeye. I don't have a first print of Hawkeye #1, and I couldn't find one for under $25. Image books right now. I was chatting with DaCosta DC Comics, and we were saying, man, everything Image is like gold. Grab it. If you see something come out Image, grab it. Sex #1 came out this week. I couldn't find a copy for under $20. It's a 3-day-old comic, you know. Peter Panzerfaust, Saga #1. The list goes on. Prophets, Revival, all these Image titles they're coming out with, essentially non-superhero books, and they're all just instant gold. It's unbelievable. I don't even need to mention Walking Dead. Walking Dead #1. You know, expensive books. So if you see something Image right now and you're thinking about it, grab it, because it's unreal. Like I said, Sex #1, I guess they're right, sex does sell, because there was actually a copy for $150, and I'm assuming it's a variant, but just unreal right now with some of the new stuff, and how comics have come around. So we'll get back into it here now that I've shown off the few non-list items. I think this sock is in every single one of my videos. I'm gonna have to retire this sock to this is you know, bachelor. Don't do laundry. Well, I do it, but I don't fold it. That's my clean laundry. So hey, that's why there's a sock in every video. But anyways, yeah. So got those few Batmans I needed to complete. Not on the list, but again, the price was right, so we got them. So I got 6 comics off the list. Pretty much all gems in my opinion. I got deals on literally every single thing I bought yesterday. Everyone was pretty much willing to negotiate, which was great, because you know, no one really wants to pay top dollar Nobody wants to pay top dollar for anything, whether it's comics or a car or whatever you're buying. So we'll dive into it here, and I'll tell you about the deals I got. And I guess one other thing I want to mention is the variety of vendors. There, I was only expecting 5 to 10 maybe comic book vendors. I'm saying there was probably 20 or more. Everything from old stuff to new stuff. There was some guys who just had modern stuff, which was really cool. That's how I was able to get this. I wasn't expecting to see this kind of stuff, but it was there. We saw Amazing Fantasy 15. We saw, pretty much every key book was there. It was all there to be had. There were copies of Amazing Spider-Man number 50, number 1, which is number 1 on the all-time greatest covers list. Affordable. There was Green Lantern 85. There was everything, literally everything there. It was excellent. My brother was pretty excited to get to see a lot of these things in person. It's the kind of thing you think, oh, maybe I won't ever get to see it, but we'll dive in here. First one, super happy to have this. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 1. There was one vendor in particular that had the Amazing Fantasy 57, he had all the key books, Spider-Man 129, Incredible Hulk 181, you name it. This vendor had everything. He had about 5 or 6 copies of this Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., ranging from 400 to, this one's down at 70. $70. I got it for 60. It's complete. It's got a couple rough areas. I mean, the glare off this sleeve. Actually, let me pull it out of this Mylar type sleeve here. We can get a better look at the condition. But it's one of those books where I'm not a grade whore, I guess you could say, or a grade snob, maybe a little more polite. But this was in fine condition for what I'm after. This is a gorgeous cover. This is a piece of fine art, in my opinion. Jim Steranko. I gotta put it in a new sleeve. You can see the ripple. This is sort of the rough spot here at the top along the edge here. You can see it's kind of a little bit rough, but again, a legitimate piece of comic book history. 1968. Just gorgeous. Super happy to, when he passed me all 4 or 5 issues or whatever he had there of it. The first one was 400, the second one was 285 or something, and I was like, oh man, gonna be out of my price range. And then I saw this one for 70, and I thought, that's the one I'm after. So, shoot, I should get my wizard open, tell you what number it is on the list. It is number 69 on the list. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 1. Super happy to have this comic book, and especially at that price. So that's the first one I got. Second one I got, another one that I had to search around for this one. Captain America 241. This is a bit of a no-no. You don't see a guy like the Punisher standing on the shield of Captain America with a gun pointed at him, powerless before the Punisher. Frank Miller. This is one of the ones I was really after this weekend and couldn't find it. I actually ended up finding it at one of the smaller vendors had it. You see, he had the price of 60 on it. I was hoping not to have to pay more than 40. I offered him 40, and he took it. So, got this for 40 bucks. It's in really good shape. I mean, it's in good shape. It's not in really good shape. It's got a couple flaws, but again, I'm not a grade snob. I'm more in it to have it, I guess. So I'm excited to read this one, see where it goes. But very popular cover. So yeah, that's another really good one. Number. Let's see where it is on the list here. It is number, I think it's a higher one, 25 maybe? Yes, number 25 on the list. Another one bites the dust, I guess. Pretty sweet. Happy to get that one for a deal. This one here, another Captain America 286. This was my last pick of the day. I was up there with my brother, and my girlfriend and his wife were off together doing their thing. They live in downtown Toronto, so they did the shopping thing. And they messaged us around 3:30 and asked us how we were doing. We said we're just about wrapped up. I said, let me just check this. There was a Big B Comics. They're out of Hamilton, Ontario. They had boxes 50% off the whole day, and I never really got a chance to peek through them too much. I did early, but we tried to jump around. I didn't want to spend too much money too early, so I was like, okay, let me just look at this one last thing and see if I can find this one in the deal box, and I did. So it was $10 on the price tag, but at 50% off, I got it for $5, and a steal in my opinion. Really cool. Deathlock lives, Captain America in the sights. So that was the last haul of the day, and sort of a nice little send me off. Didn't mind leaving after grabbing that one for $5. Actually, I should keep forgetting to mention which number these are on the list. Number 40 on the list. Pretty awesome. So another one. The next one, this one was one of the first ones that I actually dug through a box and found, and my eyes lit up. This is in great shape. I talked about it in my last video. Bob Layton, similar to what we may see in the upcoming movie, with him trying to get that suit on active before he splatters on the ground. So pretty awesome. The guy who I bought this from, I actually bought the next comic off as well. So I won't tell his story yet, but I did get a deal on this one as well. He had it on for $35, and he packaged it together for me with the next comic, and I got it for $30. So little deals make all the difference when you add up all the savings from the whole day. I think I essentially saved $80 to $100 off cover prices, or off, if not cover prices, but asking prices. So, you know, people are willing to deal. You just got to be polite about it and respect the fact that they're trying to make a living too. So you can't gouge them for too much. But this guy here was a private dealer. This one here is number, where are you now? Number 67 on the list. So obviously I don't have these in order, they're just in a stack, but really cool. Really cool. Really happy to find that one, and another one that in person is just gorgeous, man. Like in the magazine does not do it justice. So the next one I got off the same vendor. You know, I should have really, I had his card, and I think my brother has it in his pocket. But Captain America 113. Another Jim Steranko. And again, this guy who sold me this, let me pull it out of this Mylar or whatever. Oh, he's only got it in one sleeve. Never mind. But he doesn't have a store. He just has a phenomenal collection. He had 4 or 5 copies of this one. This one he had for $45, but he had a copy for $60. He had a copy for $75. I believe he had a copy for $90. It was in pristine condition. So I got the pair of these for $70, so I got $5 off each basically. And he was happy to chat and help me out with a bit of a deal. But I mean, to get this for $40, I was super happy. He told me a little story about this comic actually. I guess Jim Steranko was a bit of a you know, a rock star as far as 60s Marvel goes. And so I guess 111, Captain America 111 came out. This was supposed to be 112, this comic, but he didn't get his shit together in time, so they did a Jack Kirby. So Captain America 112 is a Jack Kirby fill-in, I guess. I mean, pretty awesome fill-in, but still 113, deal 8 dollar short type thing. So interesting little story and history about this comic. But Captain America doesn't die. There's some twist to the story, but you know, it's one of those things when you see this on the on the newsstand in the 60s, your eyes light up and you think, wow, Captain America died? Well, what's the story here? You got to get in there and turn the pages and find out. So now, as we speak, I'm turning the pages trying to find out what number this is on the list. Where are you now? There we go. Number 83. Number 83 on the list. Jim Steranko, man. One of my favorites. He also did that Nick Fury number 1, which is one of my personal favorites. This Silver Surfer here, Silver Surfer number 4, I didn't get it, but there was 2 copies there. One for 400 and change, and one for 225. The 225, I thought, man, I should have bought it, but you know, I only brought a couple $100 with me, so you know, it was gonna have to be something that really knocked my socks off to spend the whole thing on one book. I'm glad I didn't, because I ended up getting quite a haul and put quite a dent on the list. So I'll just show that since it's next to it, but there were books there that were available that I didn't end up getting. Last one on the list that I got from the con was also the first one I found off the list, Tomb of Dracula number 15. Sorry, I got it for $15. Tomb of Dracula number 32. You can see that image there, a guy in a wheelchair. I'm not sure who the character is in the comic, but reaching for the stake, the angle and the urgency that the picture creates, it creates the tension. It's a lot like this comic in that it creates that tension of, is he going to do it in time? You know, everyone gets that feeling inside of, oh my God, you're running out of time. Oh my God, this is going to happen and I'm not ready. And you know, in a way, both of these are along the same lines. Makes you want to rip into that comic and find out what happens. But Tomb of Dracula 32. I've been bugging Wes at the warehouse for this one, but I did let him know that if I find it, I'd grab it. And he's had 31 and 33 for so long, so when I found this in a sort of random stack, again, another smaller comic vendor ended up having it. So number 91 on the list, Gil Kane. Gil Kane's got a couple off the list. And another sweet one. You know, it's fun for me to collect this list because it's so across the board. It's not like I'm just trying to complete the run of Iron Man comics, so, you know, I just search for the number I'm missing. This is all specific issues. Some of them are key, some of them are just awesome looking. But, you know, a great haul. I consider it a super successful day, on top of having a ton of fun. Saw LeVar Burton, saw Sam Gamgee, Rudy, what's his name, Sean Astin, saw him. Met Mike Zeck, met Mark Teixeira. You know, all the costumes, all the people around who are into the sort of the same scene. It's neat, you know. I used to play Magic the Gathering for years and years. I did fairly well at it. Saw a few buddies there from that I haven't seen in a while. Saw some people from comics. All around a great day. My brother had a good time. And that's sort of what it's all about, you know. It's one thing to have a bunch of expensive comics and sit on them and say I've got them. It's another thing to get involved in the community of it and you know, share and trade and talk and share opinions and things like that. So I've got some good stories and some good memories. One thing I will share was there was this one Batman and Robin, and this guy in this Batman suit must have been 6'8", 300 pounds of like muscle. Like, everyone says, you know, Batman's pretty unrealistic in that he has no powers, so how would he survive all these situations? You know what? If Batman was real, this would have been the guy to be him. This guy was a monster. And he was standing there, and the guy who was dressed as Robin was dressed awesome. He looked wicked too. He didn't look like a little boy wonder wannabe. He looked like, you know, almost like a Nightwing, kick your ass type Batman, where I don't even need Batman's help. But these two looked phenomenal. Best easily, hands down. I should have got pictures. I said before I was going to do all these videos and pictures and stuff at Comic-Con, and once I got in there, it was a free-for-all. There was so many vendors and so much to see and do on top of signatures that it didn't really happen. I got one video that I did of the initial line, so I was like, wow, this is quite the line, and there was some neat costumes, but I probably won't even end up posting that video because it's more or less nothing. But it's a little disappointing in that way, but it was only disappointing because it was so awesome in every other way that I didn't really have a chance to do the video thing. So I'm not going back today. Today's Sunday. I'm not going back. It's a long drive, and I wouldn't want to pay the entry fee again. I spent enough money for one weekend, for one con. So we'll call that a wrap. But man, great day all around. Really good con, and yeah, stay tuned. Next issue I do will be recap number 3, counting down from 50 to 25 greatest covers. So stay tuned for that.